Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. My guest today is Tim Kennedy, VP of Sales Europe at SUZOHAPP. Tim, welcome back to the podcast.
Hi, welcome, Lewis. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. You've had a particularly busy year. You've attended lots of conferences, lots of exhibitions, and been on multiple podcasts. So I was wondering, to start things off, what have been the standouts for you in 2023, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, the highlights for the company really is continued success in sports betting. You know, we had some major installations going live, particularly Fanatics in the US and also Ontario. So that was, particularly good to see that progress continue. The other highlight really was our launch into the lottery market. You know, we attended the European Lottery Congress back early in the year, and we've had continued success in that area. You know, we're engaging with customers, actually actively working on some projects. And of course, we launched a number of new component products for OEMs, and we're continuing with that theme into 2024. So been a very busy year. Absolutely.
Okay. Tim, so you mentioned about lotteries just now. What is it? What's the interesting thing about lotteries, and what have you actually been launching? In 2023.
Yeah, so we launched a scratch ticket vending machine, which kind of addresses the need worldwide as supermarkets and other lottery retailers remove staff from the business and make it more automated. There's nowhere to sell scratch tickets, so we've launched this product, and we've gained a lot of traction from a lot of different lottery providers that are all facing the same problems. So, and that's actually led to some other projects as well. You know, many of them also have sports betting divisions. So the combination of the two, we see a lot of opportunity for SUZOHAPP in this area.
Okay. You mentioned, I mentioned that you've been on speaker panels at multiple events, and I've listened to you talk about omni-channel payments, integrating retail and online, player protections, I think for facial recognition that SUZOHAPP kind of puts together, and also the ecosystem that you have around your sports betting terminals. I just wondered, on those panels, what really kind of cut through with the audiences in those sessions, and what were the key debate points?
Yeah, I think the kind of standout points for me are two areas. One is omnichannel, which is, even though it's years now since that was coined as a phrase, it's still as relevant today. In fact, probably even more relevant right now. People are looking to reinvent their retail, and how do they do that and engage with customers, make their operation more customer centric. And the other element, or the other area that is really concerning for people, is legislation. In 23, a number of projects got delayed waiting for the legislation, particularly in the US. And I think legislation has a big part to play in our industry. Then that affects gaming, sports betting, and lottery. And, the important thing is for the industry, how quickly can we, change our course of action? We can't wait around for the legislation always. We've got to think of working in other verticals. But I think, the facial recognition is coming. Facial recognition, player protection, that's definitely a theme that is going to dominate, many of our sectors for the next 3 to 5 years. So better get on board, be ready for that, because it is definitely coming.
And was that the kind of main part of the audience participation? You get that kind of awkward bit at the end where you go, "Oh, has anybody got any questions?" Would you ask questions specifically about any of these particular topics? What really was there one where some member of the audience, an operator, just thought, "Well, this will answer a key thing for me"?
Yeah, player protection is where a lot of the questions are coming from, really.
Okay.
I would say nobody has the ideal solution, but that's really related to the law isn't the same in every jurisdiction. Everybody's tweaking exactly, what the requirements will be. But there are some good solutions out there. And I think combination of vendors working together, we can produce an overall solution that fits just about any environment.
Okay. So looking back on, I guess, 2023, as a summary of the year, and I'm kind of bearing in mind that when we first started podcasting with you, you were really announcing that SUZOHAPP was moving into the sports betting terminal side of things. You were a component supplier manufacturer for years and years and years and years, and then in the last, since you came on board, it's been about a sports betting dialogue. If you summarize the year, how have you kind of is SUZOHAPP now synonymous with sports betting? Have we got there now? Is that the point at which everyone recognises how involved you are in this sector?
Yeah, I think certainly in the US we've had a considerable amount of success, and we, just about every tender or opportunity that's going in sports betting, we are considered in the top vendors, and we're always asked to participate. And I say we've got a great track record of delivering with some major names there. So we're particularly successful in that area. In Europe, we're still known to supply components for OEMs. So I think we've still got some work to do there. Okay. Lottery is building. And I think, in 2024, you'll see more of our activity back onto OEMs as well. Not that we've ever neglected those, but I think there's some new exciting developments in the OEM area, which will sort of round that solution out.
Okay. One of the more interesting things, I guess, the collaborations that we've seen this year was one of the ones at G2E that you showed me. You introduced me to the new virtual sports kiosk that you're developing with Chiron Interactive. I was wondering, how's that progressing?
Yeah, it's progressing very well. So there's some development to be completed, and then obviously certification. But we see a nice opportunity in the US for that in Class 2 and Class 3 gaming jurisdictions. And potentially we could roll that out in other jurisdictions in Europe as well. So I think the ability to have, a virtual sports product as a gaming offering could be beneficial in a lot of areas. So we're very excited about that, and you'll be seeing more of that at G2E.
Yeah, okay. I was amazed that it hasn't been done before. That was the thing. I just, it seems it's one of those products where you think, well, of course.
Yeah, that must exist, right?
Yeah. It's just always one of those things where you think, okay, well, this is obvious. Why hasn't this been done? And this seems like a really, really kind of put together collaboration as well. On that theme, you're always working on things that you can't tell me about just yet. But what are the upcoming projects that you can reveal? And do you have anything special planned for ICE London?
Yeah, so collaboration. We've made a lot of our collaborations over the last couple of years. One with Camtar is working very well. We've done exceedingly well in the US with sports betting and cash redemption terminals. I think we can follow that with Chiron. There's plenty of more opportunities with Camtar to go out in the gaming area. We still think cash redemption terminals have a lot of legs, and as markets open up in the street markets, again, cash is going to be quite important. It's still very important. Yes. So cash redemption terminals are going to be important there. One big thing that I've kind of hinted at for OEMs is a new service that we'll be offering, which is the ability for OEMs to really supplement their supply chains with a special service that we'll offer, but also the ability for them to be able to remove some of their overstock. So we'll be launching something at G2E which will address the OEM market, which had we had this in place during COVID times, it could have really helped. But we still believe there's a big opportunity for us, but also to make the whole supply chain work more efficiently. So watch this space.
Okay, so and you're saying that's for G2E, not specifically
for ICE. For
ICE London. Okay.
Yeah.
So for ICE London, we will see it. You're teasing me far too far into the year for that, I'm afraid. So, and then looking into 2024, what are the kind of goals and targets that SUZOHAPP has set for itself, and what are you specifically kind of looking at to make sure you achieve as obviously VP of Sales?
Yeah, so more continued success in the sports betting area. We've got some relationships now that have started with some big sports betting operators where we are working as a kind of outsourced partner to supply them all their spare parts, and increasingly, we're the first port of call in Europe for those operators. So we'll be expanding more of that. Okay. We'll be working on some more solutions. So I think, the Chiron solution definitely see that launching in Europe in some jurisdictions.
Okay.
And then the final thing that I hinted about, we'll be having a big launch of that, and we see that really taking off sort of towards the mid part of the year.
Okay, so finally, Tim, what events will we be able to catch SUZOHAPP at from the exhibiting side, but also any kind of speaking engagements you got coming up? What have you signed yourself up to for the new year?
Yeah, so speaking engagements, sometimes I don't get that much warning about what's coming up, but I have signed myself up to the Casino Operations Summit, where I'll be on a panel talking about retail developments in the casino area. So that's in Amsterdam in April. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, SBC, we're always very present at SBC. So there'll be a panel in September.
Yep.
BG in Sofia in November.
Yep.
And then the normal slew of exhibitions. So probably one every couple of months.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be a fun-packed diary next year.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you at ICE. Make sure you save a window for me to run through any the new teaser reveal that you give me again. There's always something that kind of sparks my interest into it. As I say, the Chiron product that you showed me was fascinating. That was great. So, and in the meantime, Tim, as always, I'm sure we'll be seeing you on YouTube very soon.
Thanks again.
Cheers, bye. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to watch more, why not subscribe to our channel? Just click here.